Okay, good morning. It's Friday at makulimlim, madilim ang Friday namin dito sa Tagum. Time check is 7:22. Dapat may araw na sana yan eh. Anyway, so kumusta ang linggo natin? Okay ba ang naging sona ng ating mahal na presidente? Yan. Lahat ba ay nakapanood? Anong masasabi niyo sa kanyang sauna? I think everybody has given their kontra sauna, di ba? Nagkontra sauna na rin dun sa they call it sa Senate minority, di ba? Narinig niyo rin ba yung kontra sauna ni Alan Peter Cayetano? Sinundan pa ng kontra sauna rin ni Pia. Okay, so maraming nagbigay ng kontra sauna. Marami ako narinig. Syempre, mga critics, number 1 na yun eh. Tapos meron din akong nabasa at gusto kong i-share sa inyo. At sige nga, hulaan nyo nga kung kaninong kontra sauna ito. Gusto kong i-share sa inyo kasi parang it makes sense to me. Sabi niya, babasahin ko na dito sa cellphone eh. So sabi na, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. certainly scored a lot of points. Uy, pumuntos daw siya ng marami. When he announced within the first 2 minutes of his State of the Nation address that the Ombudsman is close to filing a lot of corruption charges against the former House Speaker. He couldn't get himself to name the person referred to. Hindi nga lang niya mabanggit daw yung pangalan. His cousin Martin Romualdez. So I'm not holding my breath though. Hindi siya parang wa-effect sa kanya, parang wala lang, tameme lang, adadma. Will know if it's for real only when the Ombudsman sends that cousin to jail. Malalaman lang natin kung totoo yan, kung naipakulong na nila si Romualdez as fast as he did the most articulate opposition, Senator Rodante Marcoleta. Katulad ng kasimbilis ng pagpapakulong nila kay Marcoleta. Yun, maniniwala na tayo na totoo yung pinagsasabi ni Bongbong. At saka as well as former Congressman Mike Defensor. So we could be moving into interesting times with Marcos's announcement. Okay, Romualdez said angrily in April video message, "If this is a political play to push me out and close the story, tarnishing my name and my reputation, then I am telling everyone now, I will not go quietly and I will not go alone." Yun yung mga linya ni Martin nun eh. I will not go quietly and I will not go alone. Okay. I will not be the fall guy for other people's corruption. Hindi daw siya magiging fall guy. Kumbaga hindi lang siya ang masisisi for others people corruption. Many interpreted that the other people as Marcos and his wife. So, yung mga tao, ang iniisip, yung tinutukoy ni Martin Romualdez na other people, corruption of other people, ay yung dalawang mag-asawa. So, what the president choose to boast about in his sauna reveals what he actually has in his warehouse. By that rule, the president's fifth sauna last July 27 was among the most revealing speeches of his term, not for what it claimed, but for how small the claims were. Which means that he doesn't have a clue what governance entails. Masyado namang minamalit ng taon to si Bongbong. This was the fifth of his 6 saunas, delivered at the start of a presidency's harvest season, when an administration should be reaping what it planted and reporting the yield. Instead, wedged between the corruption mea culpa and the crisis narrative of the Middle East war, Congress was asked to upload an inventory of trivia so modest that a bored listener had to wonder, is this really all there is? Ito lang yon? Ito lang ba? Consider what made it into the address. Among the helpful and innovative teaching aids that the government has given public school teachers, the president enumerated smart TVs, laptops, tablets, free mobile data, and even lapel microphones. DepEd records show a 422.8 million pesos procurement covering 879,533 lapel voice amplifiers. Apparently, one for every teacher, budgeted at 480 pesos each. Note that all this required the purchase of the items from private companies, which has always been the easiest opportunity for corruption. Even the publicly posted documents for lapel microphones established only that the units were bid out and allocated. They contain no notice of award proving that the 879,533 had actually reached the teachers. Lapel microphones, clip-on mics, nevertheless merited a line in a national address delivered before Congress, the Supreme Court, and the Diplomatic Corps. This tepid claim even deserves investigation. Lapel microphones would be the last in any list of must-have in improving education, especially considering that we have backlog of 144,000 classrooms. Why spend nearly half a billion peso for it? O nga no, inuuna mo pa yung mga mic na yun, lapel microphones, laptop, kulang na nga tayo sa mga classroom. May punto ba rito yung nagsulat nito? Do you agree, guys? So, our export breakthroughs. Mga tagumpay daw natin sa export. See, signan nga natin kung ano sinasabi niya rito. We have now ventured into new and viable ones, like enoki mushrooms, our electric vehicle revolution, one experimental ferry boat built by UP and the OST, which someday we are promised will ply the Pasig River. Our entry into the space age? Yes, we are going to launch a rocket into space. The president boasted. Okay, pinagyabang niya yan ha. Di abangan natin yung rocket. Okay, the president boasted yun ano. A small suborbital research rocket to be launched next year. Okay, next year na yun. Malapit na. To be undertaken entirely by a small South Korean startup, Peregrine Aerospace. If you intend to watch the launch, I suggest Marcos just views it through CCTV. Bakit naman? Then came the fee waivers. Each with its own applause line. The Cebu Port Terminal Fee. Okay, anong nangyari doon sa Cebu Port Terminal Fee? A charge that cost less than a fast food meal, naging libre. Oy! Clap, clap, clap. The terminal fee at the PITX. Anong nangyari naman doon? Suspended for all of 3 months. Oy, nasuspend for 3 months. So walang terminal fee sa PITX. The Roro terminal fee for agricultural cargo cut from 500 to 1 peso. O halos libre. Libre na rin yun. Expressway toll discounts. Umabot hanggang halos 200 piso. Ang discount, wow. Reaching almost 200 peso. Ang discount. So, special train discounts every Sunday, not on work days. And on mahahalagang kapistaan fiesta discounts reported to the Republic as governance. So, impressive ba yung mga ganong achievements? Presidente. I don't know. So, may sinasabi rito, 3 unflattering patterns run through the speech. Alright. The first pattern is the annexation of other institutions' actions as presidential accomplishments. The president reported that maraming bangko at e-wallet na ang nagbaba o nagtanggal ng kanilang sinisingil na online transaction fee. By the speech's own language, government merely hinikayat, encourage them. Yun lang ang ginawa ng gobyerno doon kasi mga private yan eh. Okay? The fee cuts were private business decisions. Diba sabi ko nga, herded into the administration's column of achievements. Decision yan ng mga private sector. Tapos inihanay mo sa achievements ng gobyerno. Oh, come on. So, the same sleight of hands appears in the power sector. Ipinag-utos natin ang agarang pag-refund ng mga kumpanya ng kuryente na may sobrang nasingil sa mga customer nito, he declared. But, refunding over collections is not a presidential favor. It is a legal obligation state regulators have enforced for decades, ordering a utility to return money it was never entitled to keep is not an accomplishment. It is the bare minimum regulation. So, regulation lang yan eh. Di naman yun achievement eh. Wala namang Okay. Next, the loan moratoriums granted by the banks and by the GSIS, SSS, Pag-ibig, and NHMFC were likewise counted as relief delivered by the administration. The dredging of esteros and imbornals by the MMDA, routine budgeted maintenance the agency performs every rainy season, was elevated into Oplan Kontra Baha, a national anti-flood campaign. The repair of collapsed bridges, San Juanico, Cabagan Santa Maria, Pigatan, Calbiga, was reported to applause. As if fixing broken infrastructure were a policy triumph rather than the most elementary duty of a public works department. The second pattern is the presentation of postponements as benefits. Okay, yung pagpo-postpone is a benefit. Come on, let's see. Electricity consumers were allowed to pay their May to July bills in installments. Okay, pinayagang ma-installment pero babayaran mo pa rin. And disconnections were banned while they did so. Okay, bawal ka lang putulan. Syempre kasi nagbabayad ka rin naman installment eh. The debts remain, di ba? Only the reckoning was moved. Kaya nga, naipagpalibal lang yung paniningil, babayad ka pa rin. So, anong achievement doon? Okay. Bank borrowers got 6 months grace, a year, if the loan was agricultural, so deferred. Ganun din, not reduced. Na-delay lang yung pagbayad mo pero hindi naman nabawasan. So, ano yun? The excise taxes on LPG and kerosene were suspended for 3 months to return in the fourth. The most remarkable specimen concerned petroleum prices. The president reported as an achievement. Talaga lang that hindi naging biglaan ang pagtaas ng presyo ng petrolyo, kundi paunti-unti sa loob ng 1 linggo. The increase was not sudden as in a day, but spread over 1 week. The pump price still rose by the same amount. Ganun pa rin eh. Kahit inati-hati mo, yun pa rin yung pagtaas ng presyo ng langis. The accomplishment was the speed at which the pain arrived. This is a surgeon boasting that the amputation was performed slowly. Yun yung pinagyabang daw ni Marcos. Yung, kunyari, surgeon siya, inopera. Oh, pinutol ko yung paa mo ng dahan-dahan lang naman eh. Pinutol mo pa rin yung paa. Parang killing me softly. Kailangan bang, dapat bang ipagyabang yung killing me softly? Mr. President, with all due respect. The third pattern is the most telling. Nearly everything of consequence in the speech has not happened yet. The North-South Commuter Railway will run between Valenzuela and Malolos sa susunod na taon. Dapat ba ipagyabang yun? Didn't anybody tell him that this was first announced by President Benigno Aquino III in 2014 and accelerated through President Rodrigo Duterte sa kanyang Build program. So, the 12 station of MRT 7 open next year of the 200 power projects with a combined 10 megawatts that the president cited only 45 are finished. 124 are inaasahang matatapos, expected to be completed by 2028. Safely at the edge of this presidency. Diba? Nuclear energy. Okay, perhaps it is time for us to revisit it. 100 million coconut trees by the end of the administration. Even the anti-corruption centerpiece obeys the pattern. Of the 25 million supposedly recovered, frozen, and preserved from the flood control racket, only some 800 million, barely 3%, was actually reached the treasury. As I detailed in this space earlier this week, meron siyang article about that pala nung last week. So nagigess nyo na ba kung sino yung nagsulat nito, guys? The May 1 job fairs give the method away in miniature. Government mounted nearly 100 of them, at which halos 300,000 trabaho ang pinagbigay alam natin sa publiko. Imagine, 300,000 jobs were announced to the public. The actual hires that day lagpas 6,000 Pilipino. A little over 6,000 or 2% lang ang na-hire. Ipinagyabang mo ba, BBM? Okay, the announcement was the accomplishment. The outcome was rounding error. Why does this matter? Behind the annual sport of sauna checking, because a fifth sauna is a presidency's verdict on itself. Yet Marx's claim in his sauna even verges on being fake news. For example, he said that despite the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, he got to buy and import the needed oil from Japan, South Korea, Oman, India, and even Russia and China. The Philippine National Oil Company did run an actual emergency buying program. It procured about 1.3 million barrels of diesel total between late March and April 2026, split across from cargoes from Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, North Asia or India, and Oman, against a national diesel demand of roughly 190,000 to 202,000 barrels a day. That's huge, guys. That 1.3 million barrels accumulated over nearly a month amounts to a few days worth of the country's diesel needs. The more genuinely consequential diversification was Russia, which supplied 2.48 million barrels of crude, passing Hormuz entirely through the ESPO pipeline. But Marcos and his bureaucracy had nothing to do with that. It was entirely done by Petron. Okay? Thanks to its CEO, Ramon Ang proven adeptness and swiftness in responding to crisis. When the eye accomplished this, portion of Asana must be populated by a lapel, microphones, enoki mushrooms, 1 peso terminal fees, a single electricity ferry, and a borrowed rocket. The verdict writes itself. What happened? What happened is that the presidential management staff asked the departments to submit their accomplishments to be included in the SONA. And the heads, of course, overstated and even included work still to be done. Marcos's PMS simply located this and this mostly junior staff judge which should go into his speech. Marcos's contribution was solely the Romualdez thing. But policy agendas, a vision where the nation should be going, crucial laws the Congress must pass to develop our country or our economy swiftly. These are over his head. Marcos has no clue in his speeches and in governance. Does this make sense, guys, to you? Okay, sasabihin ko sino nagsulat nito, si Rigoberto Tiglao. Number 1 critics ni Marcos, kaya ganun yung mga pinagsasabi niya. Well, oo nga naman eh, ang bababaw eh. Ang babaw ng mga pinagyabang ni... Sabagay, ano naman talaga maasahan natin sa administration ngayon? Buti pa, pinagyabang na lang niya na naipakulong nila si Duterte, no? Pinagyabang na lang nila na pinapa-impeach nila si Sara, no? Pinagyabang nila na inattack nila ang Senate, no? Dati. Pero ito, yung mga yon, pinagyabang mo na na-postpone yung mga pagbabayad, magbabayad pa rin. Ano guys, salamat ha. Until the next one. Oops, nakasubscribe ka na ba? Until the next one, bye bye. Thanks.